Hello and welcome back to the dinner table. It is a good Sunday. People probably think I moved in here.
I think so.
Yes.
I think you should move in here.
I would love to, but
My friends were just saying, how often is Carly in town?
It is crazy that I've been here. Now it's been 5 weeks of.
Well, it's not that far of a drive from Madison, too.
Yeah.
What is it, an hour 10? It's really like an hour 10.
Yeah.
It's a Call Her Daddy podcast.
Yeah. Oh, listen to the Call Her Daddy podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great to be here. And we have some fun news on this Sunday and for this podcast.
I'm going to cry.
Part of the reason why you've come up so much. We had a bunch of fun events over the last couple weekends. I'm going to be a dad.
Aww. Look at Mom.
That's so
cute.
exciting. They're going to post today, so we've been keeping it in and not being able to say anything. Sometimes we record the pods and I'm like, how do we talk about anything else?
No, literally. I feel like we're all just staring at each other so what's new, Cam?
Yeah, exactly. But we're so excited and tell them the gender.
Yep, we're going to have a girl. So we just found out a couple weekends ago. And I'm going to be a girl dad. So, yeah, can't wait. Obviously super excited. And you're right. It's all we've been talking about. So to get to put it out there now and not have to hold any more secrets is fun.
Yes.
So fun.
Cameron, in my opinion, is made to be a girl dad.
Yeah.
And
because you're
my
surrounded
friends
by
say that
girls.
too.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I obviously, when you grow up with three sisters, I've been made to be a girl brother. So I think that's pretty much the same thing.
And Noreen, for people that don't know, Noreen is one of 5 and there's 4 girls.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was almost bound to be a girl.
We knew we were going to have some girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes. And they didn't care what it was going to be, but they were thinking in their heads, if it's a boy, we can cross it off our list because we know that the girls are coming.
Yes.
So it's kind of funny to see both their reactions when they're like, yeah, this is what we thought.
and tell them who was more disappointed that it was a girl.
Noreen.
But she's come around. Yeah.
No, obviously she's not disappointed at all.
Yeah.
That's
She's
a bad
so
word
excited.
to use, but she was hoping for a boy.
She just was so cute when she comes up to me and she was like, I just want her to be popular and pretty and good at sports. And now I have to worry about her and boys you don't have to worry about. And we were just I was crying laughing at that.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that stuff. We have a fun, and I'm taking Carly's job here, but a fun pick and pop 3 that we're going to get into later.
Talk.
About all that stuff.
Can you describe the segment a little bit more? Because people are curious on what we're going to do for the pick and pop 3.
Yeah. So every week we're just going to pick a topic and it's kind of like Mount Rushmore, So
Hypothetical question.
yeah.
I learned that word today. And I barely
You wanted
could
to
say
get
it.
that in there here.
Yeah.
She just used ChatGPT to come up with that word.
Yeah, hypothetical. So we're going to use that.
Want to spell that?
Cameron, do you want to spell that?
I could if you wanted.
I know.
To.
We can both do it.
Yeah. So we'll do that in just a bit. I think we can even start with the pick and pop 3 before we get into sports, just because we're still talking about it. But tell everyone what you did for the gender reveal.
Yeah, we went to our favorite wine bar that's actually right below our condo, and Vino on 3rd it's called. And we
Perfect.
did.
Everyone knows your address now.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine.
Come over.
We had 2 pairs of sneakers, so 2 pairs of Nike Air Jordans, and one was pink and one was blue. And then we had Will, who is Noreen's sister's boyfriend, and he knew which one we were going with, and so he came in with the pair of shoes, and then we opened them up, and it was pink. So we all knew it was girl shoes, and then everyone got excited about it.
It's so exciting.
It was so much fun. Yeah, it was a blast. What are you most excited about being a dad?
I know. I got those 3. Those are, but I am just being a dad in general. Noreen and I were couldn't wait to have kids.
Yeah,
Obviously, we just
clearly.
got married, so
Clearly.
yeah. I just can't wait for the whole thing. Honestly,
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
looking forward to. I think the most fun part of our childhood was having a bunch of siblings and our parents. So
Yeah.
it's I can't wait for that, and them playing sports, obviously.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, let's get into our segment. We'll just keep talking about this topic. It's so much fun to talk about. So our pick and pop 3 segment is the best thing about being a girl dad. Should be fun.
Yes.
Okay, so should we have Cameron start it off?
I think so.
Okay, Cam.
Okay, my number 1 of the best thing about being a girl dad is that the girls, I feel love the dad at probably throughout most of their life.
Yeah.
I think there's a time period in there where the girls, getting into it with their moms, and obviously come back around. But I think the girls love the dad for the most part. So that's my one.
They stay out of the drama.
Yeah.
That I kind of had a little something on there, but I'll use my backup one, but I'm just going to keep talking about yours for a second. It's so true because we just couldn't really get mad, at dad.
And you're going to have the same exact personality as dad did as a dad.
Yeah.
And so for us, I don't remember ever fighting with him unless he was telling me some constructive criticism in the car after basketball. That was the only time we fought. But it wasn't about my high school boyfriend or things like that.
The only thing we ever fought about was basketball too. So good luck. I hope your little girl is more receptive to your advice.
Coaching?
Yeah.
Hopefully she's more coachable.
Yeah.
Than Carly.
Yeah. We could tell stories about that all day.
Yeah,
I know.
seriously. I chucked a ball at my dad's face at basketball practice. So
Yeah, just to correct the shot for him all he wanted, and Carly didn't like that. Elbow
I
in, she's
told what to do.
like this, boom. That's the funniest story
Kicked
ever.
out of practice. Okay, so that's a good one.
Yep, that's my one.
What's yours?
Okay, my number one would be walking her down the aisle.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I wasn't thinking in that type of direction, actually. Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah, such a special moment that you have as a dad. So
We
had
cute.
it. Cameron and I had it together. So it's special too with your brother too. But it's something you look forward to as a dad. I think your whole life.
That's a good one.
That's such a good one.
It's emotional.
I went kind of broad here, but spoil her. I think that's something you don't necessarily do with your son on dad and son.
Yeah.
You do, but you don't. You look at your little girls and you're like, oh, she's
What do
going to
you
have
want?
everything in the world,
Yeah.
you know? And I think that's so fun. Dad, when we were growing up, used to bribe me with this is advanced, but getting an iPhone if I got 20 rebounds. And he would never tell Cameron, I'm going to get you an iPhone if you get 20 rebounds. He's probably just looking at him you better get 20 rebounds. Today. Don't even mess around right now.
Yeah.
But to me, he was I'll get you an iPhone. I'm
Yeah.
perfect. I got you.
That's so funny. I was gonna say when I tore my ACL, I was going into surgery and I looked at him. I'm like, can I get an iPhone? He's like, yeah.
You got it.
I came home to my iPhone. I was like, thank you so much.
Thank you. So it's just so true.
Can I get an iPhone?
You have more.
Carly wakes up from the anesthesia and she's like, iPhone?
Right, iPhone right on aim. Whatever it is.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so true. It's such an excuse because it's
Yeah.
just that's your daughter.
Yeah.
Of
That's
a
course
good
you're
one.
gonna smile her.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Back to you for number 2. Snake it.
Okay, back to me.
Sneak
The best part right now for you to have a girl is the climate of women's basketball.
All right, that's
Because
good,
I'll never forget, I'm in high school and people are telling me 10 years from now, you got to see what the WNBA is going to look like.
Yeah.
And I swear I missed it by a year or two. But by the time your kid is looking for colleges or potentially to play pro or whatever sport she's loving or whatever sport she's in, it's going to have so many more opportunities. And
That's
I
true.
can't wait for your girls to have that because it's so special.
What
There's
about
going to be 30 teams, not 12.
Yeah,
So that's
seriously.
why it's going to be awesome.
What about our big sport of volleyball too on the rise?
Exactly. The volleyball rise, any sport she likes.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'd love if it's basketball. We're not going to hate it if it's anything else. We talked
Yeah.
about being on volleyball or soccer or anything like that.
Yeah, Noreen's a soccer player.
Yes.
Noreen's soccer.
Softball. She might be softball, whatever it is, but she's
I'll
going to
tell
have
you what,
so many more opportunities.
I am good with basketball, softball, soccer, golf. The one sport I would not want her doing is volleyball, I think.
Why?
Why?
It
Because she's in
is-
spandex?
No, I don't care about that. It's just so boring for me to watch. At the
hasn't watched it.
youth age, not in
Youth
college.
age.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Girls college volleyball is phenomenal.
Yes.
The youth,
Okay, yeah. I got you on that.
I've watched more than you guys
Yeah.
have probably watched of the youth because we have
Yes.
it at the facility.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hit, comes over to one side, falls down.
Totally. There's not as
It's
much
bump,
action.
Bump down. It's no action at all.
No action. I think the other part that's really hard for you is you are a natural coach.
Yeah.
And you
have no idea what
have
to
no
say.
idea how to coach her in volleyball.
I would
You know
have
what
no
mean?
idea how to coach her in volleyball. I could
Yeah.
coach her in all those other sports.
All other sports.
Soccer, some of it.
Yeah.
But also, it's volleyball is still very teen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like you could just, if
It's-
she's
yeah.
at 10 years old, it's even if she's the best setter in the world, she's got to still set it to someone that can spike it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't tell her to be more physical.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Every other sport, you can be go hit someone.
Right. Yeah.
In volleyball, you're it's so about placement.
Yeah.
And so I could see that being hard for you.
Yeah, so I'll have to figure out how I discourage that sport.
Yeah. But
Well-
in college, those dads watching their daughters just so nervous about their last set or whatever it
That's
is.
true, yeah.
That is the coolest. What some of the coolest parts
Yeah.
is watching their parents because
Yeah.
every single possession in volleyball, especially at the high level, you're talking about, you agree with me, you're on the edge of your seat because
Yeah.
every point matters. You know,
Yeah.
it's insane.
But also, though, if she plays volleyball, she's not going to play basketball because
No, I was
they're
thinking-
the same season.
That's what I was going to say. Well, fall and winter. So I guess you could kind of overlap. if
Volleyball's
either
fall.
It overlaps a little bit with basketball, but not completely.
Not with the
volleyball's fall.
the club season for volleyball is basically like
Club
Right.
season for
fall
AAU.
through winter and then ends right before AAU starts.
Yeah.
So they'd miss school basketball stuff.
Yeah, it's all right. If you won't play volleyball.
Yeah. One more thing.
We go on about this forever.
Yeah. One more thing though, McKenna Warnock, phenomenal player for Iowa, played with Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
She would have gone Division I for volleyball and for basketball, and she
Really?
did both in high school and had offers for both. So it's
You
kind of
can do
cool.
it.
You can do it. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
You're number 2.
Yeah, similar theme to my last one, but one of my favorite things was those dad and daughter dances.
Carly,
Yeah.
it's literally right there.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah.
my third one. I thought it was so creative.
Sorry. We always say the same one.
That's crazy.
We have the same brain.
Okay, keep going.
You guys are thinking of good events, and I should have done that route.
No, I have another one that's not an event. So, but yeah, dad and daughter dances, the best thing ever.
I would be jealous when you guys were going to that
It's
stuff.
it's like a mini wedding when you're growing up. You get
Yeah.
your hair done, makeup done, pictures, limo comes.
Yeah, we would go to the MAC.
Mom and I would do cheese fondue nights.
Yeah,
remember
that's
that, Mom?
cute. Mom, you remember when you did cheese fondue nights when we had daddy-daughter dances with Cam? Yeah, she's
And
so
now our
cute.
mom's crying.
Yeah. And there's the tears. And laser tag.
Yeah. Seriously.
Wow.
Yeah.
What fun.
So you guys missed out.
Yeah, seriously. But explain them a little more. We went to Milwaukee Athletic Club.
Yep. Had a nice dinner, and then we would dance all night. It was so much fun.
Yeah, and Dad loved it. That
Loved
was
it.
his favorite
Twirling
thing.
us on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, you'll be there.
If you want ASMR, go to 14 minutes and
That's hilarious.
Sorry. I had the sparkling water. And it's like so bubbly.
She goes, whoa.
okay, keep going.
Okay. Anyways, you'll be really good at that because you'll be out on the dance floor dancing with
Yeah.
us and stuff.
We also have really good pictures from that.
That's a good one. I like that.
All right, go ahead.
My number 2 is, and we've said this already, but just teaching them sports.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
I'm looking forward to that too. Hopefully, if I have a boy someday, but the girls, I think, will be, and actually, this will be interesting to see how coachable they are. But I felt like when I was thinking about this, is girls would be more willing to listen to their dad and coaching, but
Yeah.
you were.
I was fine, but I did have like tough times after games. Sometimes
What was McKenna? Was McKenna like that?
I don't know. The thing about our dad was he wasn't like a yeller in the car. Like some parents,
Yeah.
like they were terrified to get in the car after the game if you played bad. Like that was
No.
never it. Like it was very constructive, like coaching.
yeah.
But there's times like girls, they don't want to be wrong. Like I never want to be
Yeah.
wrong. I always thought
That's
I
true
was.
for
Yeah.
boys too, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just tough. You don't want to hear it.
you don't want to hear it.
So
Yeah, it's
sometimes
just
you're
one of
like,
those things.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
But
then,
then-
you get to the point where you really want to hear it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then he realized, I told him to stop telling me anything, and it was like 2 games later in the car. I'm like, just tell me something.
Yeah, exactly.
Say
Exactly.
one thing. So it's just part of growing up with girls. Like we could make a whole list of the challenging things that
Yeah.
are gonna come too. But
Yeah. That leads kind of into my third one.
Go
Okay, go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah.
So
Boomerang
a
back
benefit
here.
for the boy or for the dad is that I can send my girl with all the girl drama to mom.
Yeah, that's so true.
yeah,
Is my third.
But Noreen's gonna be like, no, you have to help me.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, piggybacking off of that, I said like watching her grow up like Noreen. You know, like I know we have a lot of characteristics of dad and stuff, but I would say like you really take after your mom. So I think
Yes.
it's like really sweet for a husband to see like how that girl's grow up just like your wife. Like,
Yeah.
that's so special.
Absolutely. I agree with that too.
It's so cute. Carly had my daddy and daughter one. Gosh, I mean, like I'll tell a funny story about dad and coaching because that would be my third or fourth or whatever about coaching your daughter. But the best part was like the Padre Sierra.
Yeah.
And so
That's the best.
it's the best. Like, so our dad coached us all throughout Lumen Christi. And in 8th grade at Lumen Christi, you play at the Padre Sierra. It's all the Catholic schools around the area. It's a big, huge tournament during March Madness. You have seeds, all this stuff. And dad had coached us from 6th, 7th, 8th grade. We get in the locker room after losing the Padre Sierra, and dad is hysterically bawling.
Yeah.
Like
No.
6'7",
Well,
big
remember
guy.
I was helping with
Yes.
that. So I was in the
Cam and
I was in the
Liam.
locker room. Yeah.
And he comes in the locker room ever, and obviously like the girls are really sad. Like I'm crying, I'm bumming.
Yeah.
And he just looks at us and
He
just
was crying more than
just
anyone.
weeps.
Oh.
Weeps. He was so sad. So like you're gonna be so attached. We ran every college play, every college like warm up drill, like whatever it was. And it's just like when it all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, like that's one of the best moments ever. And they would crack up because Dad would come 15 minutes late to practice in a like tuxedo. And from
He
work.
was always coaching in a full suit.
In a full suit. So that's going to be the best. Yeah.
Sleeves rolled up, sweating.
And-
shirt was untucked by midway through practice.
Yeah. And you're going to be emotional with it. You will.
That's my fourth one. I'm just gonna throw it out there. goes
Pick and pop 4-pointer.
goes off of that because like we were saying like like that girl can't really get mad at you that much, but like you can't get mad at them.
Oh, I would never.
No, but it's like impossible. Like I think Mom back there, we're talking about her a lot, but she would be like, "Can you help me out a little bit?" Like, and Dad would come up there and be like, "Okay, I'm supposed to be up here.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to be in trouble, so let's just sit up here for a little bit."
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's hard to get mad at the girls.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's
All
good.
right. So that's our pick and pop 3. Okay, let's get into it. This is what we got on this episode. We're gonna start off with a bizarre trade, Luka for AD, and then we're gonna get into Marquette and UConn breakdown, and finally we'll talk about some WNBA trades, and Chloe will give her most surprising one.
Start off.
Okay, so
Craziest notification ever.
it was almost midnight last night. Were you guys up?
Yeah.
I was up.
Well, National Marquette Day.
Yeah.
Were
Well,
you guys-
I was
were you
leaving the
guys
heart.
actually like, is this a dream? Because you guys were like partying.
Oh, yeah. Well, Chloe was more than I. I was back at our place at that time, but
No, I just like walked out of the bar and had a notification from ESPN, and I read it out loud to everyone that was standing there, and everyone's like, "Oh, shut up!" Like,
Yeah.
like literally, like wouldn't believe me. I'm like, I swear, it's like,
well, it's
Sham-
that
sham-
crazy.
Shams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shams.
Shams.
I
Okay,
mean,
yeah.
Yeah, Luka obviously getting traded at 25 years old for Anthony Davis and a future 2029 first-round
yeah.
pick.
Not even the 31.
I think if you would go down the list of people in the NBA that you would say would definitely not get traded, you'd probably say like Jokic 1, and then maybe like Giannis and Luka tied for 2nd.
Yeah.
I mean, and so that's why Liam sent me the text message last night, like Luka got traded, and our whole group chat's like that he must have got his account hacked, or
Yeah, everyone thought the account was hacked.
They was like, no way.
Even
All the
Sh-
NBA players thought so too.
even Shams had to put out there,
this is real.
this is real.
Yeah.
That just shows you how crazy that tweet is,
Yeah.
or how crazy that trade is just in general. I mean, it makes 0 sense to me.
And then seeing the players' reactions on the bench and
Yeah.
stuff too, like that tells it all. Everyone's trying to come up with reasons. You know, more and more tweets are coming out about it, but you know, he's eligible to sign this 5-year, $345 million contract with the Mavs. Apparently, he probably wasn't gonna extend or whatever.
Well, no, he's already under contract with them for. I mean, we could look this up too. I think he's already under contract with his current contract for the next 4 or 5 years.
Well, he wasn't gonna sign the Supermax, I guess.
But he's at least got a couple years left.
Okay, but this isn't even an excuse because
Yeah.
even then, you know, like they can put his name out there and get more for him than just AD. But just like trying to think of things. They're also saying he's out of shape.
I don't. So obviously, maybe he's out of shape. He just led the Dallas Mavericks to the finals last year.
Yeah.
I mean, and Jake Laney was telling me this. They said, I don't care if he's smoking a cigarette coming up the court.
Yeah.
He's still going to be balling.
Yeah.
And, it's just so weird because
He must have been horrible.
I think the things that I'm thinking about are basically, okay, maybe number one, they don't want to pay him. Okay, but then why are you owning an NBA franchise? Because you got the
Yeah.
best player, one of the best
And you
players
just
in the
went to
league.
the
You have to
finals.
pay him.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it costs. That excuse doesn't make sense. The being out of shape, that doesn't really make sense to me because it's not like he's out of shape like Zion and not playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still playing and still dominating, and he's one of the best. Okay. He's too old? No, he's only 25 years old. You got the future star of your franchise for the next 10 years.
It doesn't make any
The
sense.
Dallas Mavericks, what they're saying right now is they want to win now with Anthony Davis. I mean, I get it that he's probably like in terms of we have Kyrie and then we need to have a center option, like in terms of like another piece to add.
Yeah.
But that's definitely not the win now mentality.
No.
I mean, Luka's your best option to win now.
Yeah.
He just took you to the finals last year. You needed to add another piece to get it over the edge. So what I think is going to happen is there's gonna be something that comes out like
Yeah.
he was tough to deal with.
He has to be the worst person ever or something. I'm sorry.
Something.
Yeah.
Or he maybe told management trade me, or
Yeah.
I mean, but
Even that though.
that doesn't make sense because all of this was undercover
Yeah.
and surprised everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see on the Lakers side,
Yeah.
with just like some of that decision making as well, because LeBron makes the decisions in LA.
They said he
So
didn't know.
is that true? Like, you know what I mean? I saw that. So I'm like, how did LeBron not know this was going to happen? I mean, first of all, I'm sure he's happy about this decision.
He's got to be
obviously.
happy. I know he loves AD, but
He's got to be thrilled. Like, this is obviously a good addition. Jake Lanen and I were talking about this before, how like people used to talk about how this player can't play with this player. When Kyrie got traded to Dallas, we were like, they can't play together.
Yeah.
They figured it out. They're going to be able to figure it out with the Lakers. But it's one of those things, like, from their end, like, I would love to hear some of those conversations.
oh well, I'm sure. Let's do a little role play here.
Yeah.
The fax comes in from Dallas to Rob Pelinka. Do you want to be the Lakers?
Yeah, I'll be
Okay.
Lakers.
So I'll be Dallas. We send over the trade for Luka, and all we want is AD and a first-round pick.
Holy shit, we'll give it to you right now.
Immediately.
Send it over.
What else? Anything else you want in this? You
We-
sure you don't want LeBron too? Like literally, I'm sure they were shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably right now just smiling
Yeah.
and laughing.
We already sold AD's house.
I mean, they got this guy. He's 25 years old. He's gonna be the next future Lakers star. They just
Yeah.
gift wrapped it to him. I think
Yeah.
if they went around to all other 31 teams in the NBA, they would or 29 teams in the NBA. I think all 29 teams could have given him something better than just AD and
What
another
would you
first
have
round
given
pick.
up for the Bucks?
If
For-
I'm the
for
Bucks,
For Luka.
I'm saying you would have to have given up Giannis. Is about all like
In
if I was the
comparison.
Mavs, I'd have been asking for Giannis. And now I'm not going to do that if I'm the Bucks, but it's like that.
Yeah.
That's what you would ask for.
Yeah.
You go around any other team, it's like okay, OKC, let's do OKC. You're gonna have to give up Shai Gilgeous and probably a pick.
Yeah.
You know, and Shai Gilgeous is young.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rockets, you're gonna give up. You know, your best player and
Yeah.
then 3 first-round picks.
Right.
Like
It's
it
insane.
doesn't make
Spurs,
any
Wemby.
sense at all.
I just don't get how they completed this contract or this situation.
We
It's insane.
were
Or this trade.
texted in our we have a fantasy basketball group chat, and so what happens in this league and everyone else's league is somebody will try to make a trade with somebody, and maybe they're trading with somebody who doesn't really care about the league as much, so they get fleeced basically. Like they'll send a LeBron for Dylan Brooks,
Yeah.
and just because people don't care, they just accept it and send it. So then our league vetoes that trade, right?
Yeah.
We're like, this trade would get vetoed 10 times
Yes.
out of 10 in our league.
Yeah.
It
Totally.
would literally get vetoed every single time.
Yeah.
100%. That's so funny. Well, Bronny's going to lose a lot of playing time, and I'm kidding.
Yeah.
There are so many jokes about Bronny, about the whole entire thing too. Like if
Yeah.
they ask for LeBron and it's like Bronny's got to go with them or whatever. But
Did you see LeBron?
I feel bad for him. But
I love him.
Yeah.
Did you see LeBron point out like his mom in the crowd yesterday?
yeah.
So then there was so many jokes about that. Like Bronny's like, LeBron's like, your mama wants you over there or whatever. And like it points in the direction like to where Savannah James is sitting.
Yeah.
And Bronny's like, shoot, where? Like, all this stuff's so cute.
Who do you think
Crazy.
is going to be better this season between the two teams?
I think it's going to be the Lakers. I think a big part of it for the Mavericks, I think they're going to be shell-shocked by this.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. I can't
If
imagine.
you're a fan,
If you're a fan and if you're one of his teammates, obviously
like
you
if
know
the
how
Bucks
good he
just
is.
traded Giannis,
Ooh, that's what we were saying. If the Bucks traded Giannis and we got Anthony
not going to
Davis
a
in a
game.
first-round pick, I would boycott the
yeah.
Yeah.
boycott the team.
Yeah. It's like
I would not be a Bucks fan anymore. Literally, I would
Like,
not be
yeah.
a Bucks fan anymore, and I'd be so disappointed.
so
Yeah.
disappointed. Yeah. I'm curious what like Omax thinks. We should get him on the pod.
We should get on
That'd be
Max
a
on the
good.
pod.
That would be a good one to get.
That'd be great.
His
I'm
contract
sure he
was
probably can't talk much about it.
no, he can't at all.
He can't talk like he's disappointed. He's
Yeah.
still on the
Yeah.
Mavs.
Yeah.
His contract was valid through 2026-27. As what
Okay.
we talked about
So that's
before.
not
So
that
just to
much
clarify
longer.
that.
Maybe he told them I'm not extending with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get something out of it, but
Now.
it still doesn't make sense because I feel like they could have got more,
Yeah.
and everybody feels like they could get more.
Yeah. So here's my question for the Lakers. Now, do you put Austin Reeves off the ball? Like, where does Austin go in this thing? He's having great years. I mean, like, plays well with LeBron.
Yeah. I mean,
Is he an off the ball guy?
well, now they're gonna have a lot of figuring out to do.
Yeah.
And it's always tough when you take a guy who's coming at All-Star break. because they're gonna need a big also. I
Yeah.
think that's probably their main area of concern. Obviously, Luka has the ball in his hands a lot. LeBron has the ball in his hands a lot.
Yeah.
And Austin Reeves, yeah, he does, but he's gonna be playing third, fourth fiddle now.
That's what I mean. Like, you put him off the ball, but I think that could be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a great weapon out
Yeah,
there.
he's a great weapon.
And Luka's
Like,
gonna find you, so you got a guy that can shoot. It's great.
Yeah.
I wonder if LeBron's going to put up with these antics. This is one thing that just kills me about watching Luka. I know everybody says that, but
Him whining.
yeah, just
Well-
the
Well,
constant
LeBron's the biggest
complaining.
whiner of all time.
Yeah, but Luka takes it to another level.
They're both up there.
It's going to be hard to watch.
It might be hard to watch them play.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching them play.
Yeah, I'm going to be tuned in Tuesday. Well, I don't know how soon Luka will play because he's
They
hurt.
said he's supposed to come back before the All-Star break.
Okay.
He's had that calf strain, but I think they said he's pretty much ready to go. I bet you they've been maybe – obviously, this trade came out of nowhere, but I'm sure they were like, okay,
Monitoring
when
a
we're
little
trading him, he's going to be ready to go pretty much.
Yeah. Wild. We're going to be
Crazy.
talking about that for a long time. It's just even crazy seeing all these execs on Twitter saying, like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's wrong with these people, basically? Okay, so let's recap Marquette and UConn. You guys are both there. I was seeing you on the TV watching it, but, God, what a disappointing game. I don't know. For you guys, it felt Marquette just kept getting it to 11. And then maybe 8, and then back to 15. Like,
Yeah.
they just couldn't break that seal.
No, I mean, completely. We talked about this before, but solo ball, like, it was him the entire time. Like,
So is this guy known? Like,
Yeah, he's a good player.
He is?
And he's known as being a really good shooter. I mean, obviously, I think it was his career high last night.
okay, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
every time. Like, it's one of those things at Marquette, in every place, the score starts to get chipped down a little bit more, so you start to stand up. And every time we stood up, it was solo ball 3, and you sat back down. It was literally like, man, am I jinxing it?
Here's my thing with these big games, and Marquette's played in a couple of them now,
Yeah.
especially at home. You have to get off to a good start.
Yeah, it was,
Marquette got
yeah.
down by 15 in the
I was
first
going to say,
half.
was it 14-2 at one
What
point?
was the energy in there like that? Like
It's-
when it started compared to
Yeah.
then?
I mean, now it's been a couple times with the Xavier game and this game last night. Obviously on National Marquette Day, you got the stripes going. You got, the 3 rows leading up to the court. So it's jam-packed in there. It's loud. The student sections are as loud as you've ever heard them.
Fun.
And,
They
you
come
can't
out flat.
wait. So, like, when you get off to a good start, then it just is like a tidal wave against the opponent.
Yeah.
But it works the same way against you. If they
Right.
get off to a hot start, which they did, they didn't miss a 3 to start the game. And I think a lot of it, obviously, it goes to them, to credit to them, because they're making big shots in big-time games. But, like, I think our team has started off slow now.
Yeah.
A handful of games.
Yeah.
That's definitely an issue that Marquette's got to work on, and especially at home, because
Yeah.
you got to get that home crowd behind you the whole way.
Heading into this game, I didn't feel good about it. I know the spread was like 6.5, and we were talking about it, like who's taking who. I'm like, God, 6.5. Like, sorry, but I'm taking UConn because Marquette like hasn't impressed me lately. Leading into this game,
Yeah.
they're just. I know they still have been able to pull out these wins, and we talked about it last week, but
No, it's a good point.
I
And
didn't feel good.
the reason I felt good is because I'm like, UConn's in, dismay.
They didn't look good either. Yeah.
They almost lost to DePaul at
Yeah.
home. I'm like, give credit to DePaul for getting a little better, but it's for them to be even close with UConn, and they were beating UConn at halftime.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, UConn's just not the same.
Yeah.
But boy, was I wrong. Obviously, you got Hurley there, and they're really talented. And so you're right. Like, when that spread's at 6.5, and they even got up to 7.5, came back down
Yeah.
to 5.5 for the game.
Yeah.
And then McNeely ended up not playing, too. So I felt good about Marquette, but it's when you're laying that much chalk to a back-to-back national champion, it's tough.
Yeah. And I felt like UConn to Marquette would have had some of the options that they've had all season against other Big East schools. But the minute they get into the lane, Trey thinks he's available, Jop thinks he's available, and he's not. It's denied. Like, it's 1, 2 level, 3 levels of defense that UConn plays. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, they're right there on everything. And you think
Yeah.
Marquette is there in every single pass, but inside the paint, it's
Yeah.
not as much. Like, outside, of course, but like for UConn, they're always there.
Yeah.
Like, every shot was getting denied. You thought it was like open, break it down to a 7-point lead, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, third row.
I'm surprised Cam had as many points as he did. And I know we're used to just like him being an absolute star,
Mm-hmm.
but some of the misses were such bad misses that when I looked at the stat sheet after the game, I was like, oh, I'm surprised. I think he had like 20 something, but
22. He finished with 22, and I was thinking the same exact
I'm
thing.
like, he's got to have 8 points. Like,
Yeah, you would ask him, he'd say that was a bad performance for me
Yeah.
last night, and he still had 22
I know.
and how many assists or whatever.
yeah, he
and-
couldn't because he couldn't hit from the line. He's missing, a layup. That step back three. It was like everyone's like, yes, hell yes, we need this, and it was like
Yeah.
a brick.
Yeah.
And you just don't see that very often from him.
And he even missed a couple layups.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love how Stevie played. He plays hard. I know so his numbers weren't good, but he was getting the momentum back from Marquette with like
His steals.
his
steals,
defense. Yeah.
But you need him on the offensive end, and that's what's tough. I mean, Stevie Mitchell finished with six points, but he had 5 steals, which is whatever.
Yeah.
But we couldn't execute off of it.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't capitalize.
Yeah.
Like it was the steal to a turnover. It was a steal to a block.
The game was just so repetitive. Like in the second half, once we got back into it, steal, Marquette scores, solo 3. It was just like
this is
God,
the-
am I watching the
yeah.
same movie
Exactly.
over and over?
Repeat.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like this is
It
the
hurt.
definition of not being able to capitalize. UConn had 25 turnovers. 25 turnovers. Marquette had 8.
Did we they out rebounded us?
They out rebounded us 36 to 26. Which first of all, Marquette's rebounding
Yeah.
is
Not surprising.
atrocious.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're talking about 25 to 8.
turnovers. Yeah.
And you
Well,
couldn't
yep.
capitalize off 25 turnovers. Like,
Well,
let me look
here's
at
the difference.
team stats.
Every time they didn't turn it over, what'd they shoot from the field? They shot an unbelievable percentage.
So from the field, they shot 59%.
They shot 59% from the field, and what from 3?
Yeah.
From the 3, 63% from
No.
the 3.
So 59.
They shot 12 of 19 from the 3.
So basically, every time they didn't turn it over, they scored.
63% from 3.
Yeah, they couldn't miss from 3.
No, I know, but damn,
And
we were 7 of 22.
it helps. It helps when your offensive rebounding and kicking it back out too.
It's exactly the reason, because we still had 29 points off their 25 turnovers. But still, we should have had 40 points off there.
Yeah.
But,
I
I mean,
think the main area for concern here is our inside presence,
For
Yeah.
sure. And it's been from the start of the season.
and everybody knows it too.
Yeah.
I mean, when we're playing big, physical, strong teams, it's tough to keep them off the glass, and then it's tough for our smaller guards to finish on the inside. That's been the
Yeah.
MO. That's one of the reasons we lost to NC State last year.
Yeah.
That's why we lost to Michigan State the
Royce
year
has
before that.
potential, but he seemed rattled.
It's going to happen when you're a freshman in big games, but yes, yeah, he's, these are the best of the best that you're going against right now, and same with Ben. Ben's now coming off of back-to-back games with 0
Yeah.
points. He's got to be better and stronger inside, and I would love to see him, and I think all Marquette fans, and I'm sure the coaching staff as well, not just be a 3-point guy. So like basically,
For
if his
sure.
shot's not going in that night, okay, what else are you giving us?
Yeah.
Are you boxing out? Are you being physical? Are you creating that edge for us down low, like that UConn thrives off of?
Yeah.
When they're getting their offensive rebounds, Hurley's over there and he's gritting his teeth and he's smiling,
Yeah.
and that whole team feeds off of being more physical than the other team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Gold with 0 stat line. Wait, I'm not even kidding you. Is this a glitch? He's 0 offensive rebounds, 0 defensive rebounds, 0 assists, 0 points.
He did not have 0 rebounds.
No, 0.
Ben had the same amount as Chloe and I did sitting courtside last night.
He played 21 minutes. He missed 2 threes.
I love Ben, great guy. He would say the same thing, but yeah, you can't have that happen. And because then now you're putting Royce in the game as a freshman.
I didn't see
And
that stat line.
yeah.
I got a little
not
hot.
That's not good.
That's a horror movie.
Shaka should have done what Greg Garr did when Steven Crowell had 0 rebounds and called him out in the presser, and then ever since Crowell's been great.
A monster, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, that's tough.
Shaka did say something in the press conference about like the big games. Like, did you see that quote? I was kind of
didn't see
confused by it though. Shoot. He just said like something about like the big games, like how but it was kind of an interesting quote about it.
I do think like when we're looking at all these stats right now, team versus team, you execute off this. We have more offensive rebounds than them, but again, you don't capitalize on the finishes. It's all that kind of stuff. But I honestly think like they'd throw these stats away, and we got to look at some like tactical things here. Like we have to put in something, and I love their offense. I love their flow offense, but there's got to be a go-to, like this is a hitter right here.
Can you talk about their offense real quick? Because I was getting texts yesterday, and they were like, "What is this Marquette offense?"
Well,
like,
I love
and I like it though because it's a lot of freedom, right?
it's a ton of freedom and it's a ton of flow. Okay, but at some point the freedom, it's not there because we're playing such a good defensive team. And I think they got to keep going to it. It's a fantastic offense for the one-on-one players that they have and the facilitators that they have, creating for other shots and stuff like that. But I do think that there's an opportunity when we need a bucket. Like, we got to get to something, whether he comes off of some Steph Curry staggered screens for Cam and we're opening up different options. Like, it could be flow, but don't you think like maybe a quick hitter of some sort?
Yeah, I mean, I agree to that.
And I
with
think
that,
they have it,
I do agree. So like coming out of timeouts, like what are you running on your ATOs? Are you getting a quick hitter? I agree with that.
Yes.
But to me, the issue wasn't the offense. I mean, I think we were getting what we want. We were getting in the paint a bunch. You know, our guards were living in the paint, but that's also what UConn wants when you have smaller guards. Are you going to be able to finish over those big guys? Mm-hmm. We also got to the foul line a ton in the first half. Yeah. So, I mean, the way we shot free throws fucking killed us.
54% from the free throw line.
54% from the free throw line. We were living in their paint. They were fouling us. In the first half, we were in the double bonus before they were even in the single bonus.
Yeah. Cam, I had everyone at this 2-year-old's birthday party yesterday. I'm like, we always say, like, if we're down less than the time left.
Marauder rule.
We kept doing it. It was like,
my friends call it the Marauder rule. Yeah. Lauren Van Clunen always texts me.
18 minutes left. I think we were down like 15. They're like, all right, we're still in it, Carly. Like,
exactly.
We got to a point, though.
And we were. And we cut it to 6 with, I think, like maybe 4 minutes ago or something.
I've been going crazy. Like, anything that happened for Marquette in there, it seemed like the fans were just, like, latching onto it. Like,
could not wait to get over the edge. Could not wait.
We also could not get a foul call, though. I seriously.
Yeah. Like, well, you should see Hurley with these referees, too. They're so scared to call something on them. And then if you give the correct foul to Marquette, they know they feel like they have to give something back to Hurley on the opposite end. It's honestly a joke. It's embarrassing, but it's what you earn and deserve when you win back-to-back national championships. But you know, you wish sometimes these referees would stick tighter to their guns.
Yeah. All right. And I know we can criticize as well, but obviously, like, when they win, we're the biggest. This is the best offense, or the best defense in the league type thing. Yeah. So I understand that can happen a ton, but
these are the games. Yeah, you know,
these are the ones that we got to win.
You got to win these, especially when the Big East, the rest of the Big East stinks.
That's what I was gonna say. When you're playing
St. John's coming
weak
up, so
people in the paint,
we'll see how they respond.
It's gonna be a really tough game.
Yes. All right, let's move on to our final segment today. I guess I should say final topic is what I should say. WNBA. That's been a huge thing, and the trades happening this week.
So big. There's been so many trades, but I'll just talk about one. Now this happened early on in the process, but Seattle Storm on Sunday. It was a 3-team trade sending Jewel Lloyd to the Aces and Kelsey Plum to the Sparks. Mm-hmm. So through this trade, the package of draft picks was the number 2 pick in April's WNBA draft to the Storm. So they gave up Jewel Lloyd for the number 2 pick in the draft, which could potentially be Paige. Could be Paige could be number 1. It could be Kiki Iriafen, Stanford. So I mean, you're getting a really good rookie. Yeah. Jewel Lloyd is now a little bit older, stud at Notre Dame. I think she just came off some injuries in the past, but regardless, this is like kind of similar to the NBA trades because you never thought Kelsey Plum was going to leave the Aces. Yeah. And that's why it's the craziest thing ever because you're looking at this and you're like, oh my God, Luka's going to the Lakers. And then you're like, wait, Kelsey Plum isn't on the Aces anymore? Like,
and they've been winning.
And it was a squad. And like Jordan King and I talked about this, but like, you know, you have 5. There's still, I mean, with Jewel Lloyd, you're still gonna basically Jewel Lloyd just replaces Kelsey Plum, right? But then it's like the weirdest thing ever coming into these other teams like Seattle Storm. Like, you're giving up Jewel Lloyd for number 2 pick. You're gonna be great, but it's a rookie, so it's not a win now thing like we talked about before. Yeah. I don't know. It's just really interesting. But Kelsey Plum and the Aces, that is like a lockdown group of Asia Wilson and Chelsea Gray. It's like it's you never thought that was unbreakable.
Yeah.
So it's just sad.
What do the Sparks look like with her?
So I think that's great for the Sparks because I believe that the Sparks could become a team that's dominant. You're in LA, you should have a phenomenal WNBA program. Yeah. And unfortunately, it hasn't really been like that too far. Cameron Brink tore her ACL last year. Yeah. Had a phenomenal season up until that for her rookie year. Yeah. She'll be back this year to see Kelsey and Cameron Brink play together will be really good package.
I'm sure Kelsey Plum, even though she's obviously leaving Las Vegas, she's got to be excited to maybe run her own team in LA.
Yeah, I
as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some of that. And I think when you look at these, WNBA teams, there's part of them are like, okay, are we building for the future or do we want to win now?
Right.
Especially when the future is so enticing in the WNBA. Like, it's actually going to be better for these teams to win 5 years from now and be loaded than it is now. You know what I mean?
It's so true. And LA Sparks, again, Rakia Jackson is another rookie who's going to be great in the future. Like, this is such a future team. You're so right about that. Dearica Hamby had a great season last year, averaging over 17 points per game, nearly 10 rebounds. So, I mean, there's a great situation that they have there among a ton of bigs and guards, so it's going to be good for her. I think the Aces, as much of it being very shocking, I mean, this is what I have to say. The Aces finished, they weren't number one in the league last year. They didn't make it to the finals. They lost earlier than expected in playoffs.
Yeah.
So as much as it's such a solid group and they don't want to split them up and there's so much talent, like, they kind of stopped winning last year.
Yeah.
So, like, you got to make a change.
Yeah.
But when you're making a change and you're just substituting Kelsey for Jewel Lloyd, it's, to me, I don't know what the impact is there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a kind of a one-for-one thing. It's not like a crazy different player or a different thing that Jewel Lloyd does that Kelsey doesn't do.
Okay.
So that's why it kind of confused me. Now, for the other teams, they're the ones benefiting off it the most.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe in the locker room, because we're not there, maybe Kelsey Plum feels like she should be a bigger part of the team.
Yeah, maybe there's some other
Wants
drama
the ball
there.
more,
Yeah.
and they know what they're gonna get from Jewel Lloyd. And
Yeah.
she probably can come in and play the veteran role.
Yeah.
Totally, she definitely can.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Dying.
Yeah.
You guys get these coffee attacks like me too.
No,
Yeah, it's
for sure.
brutal.
Once you start thinking about it, you're done for.
Yeah, it's actually like anxiety.
Yeah. I just have to say, I'm so glad we're not talking about Jimmy Butler though too anymore.
Yeah,
with all these other trades,
Yeah.
like
Well,
cut over
could
him.
be next week.
Oh my God.
All right, congratulations to Cameron and Noreen.
Thank you.
Baby
We're
on board.
exciting.
Cannot wait.
Yes.
June 25th due date. So.
Is anyone else sweating? I've never been hotter.
All right, thank you so much for watching The Dinner Table. We'll see you next week.
Bye.